Good afternoon. Health experts have warned that they have seen a rise in preventable illnesses following an outbreak of whooping cough. Our reporter Liv Thompson has more.
Whooping cough, also known as pertussis, has been on the rise across Scotland for much of the winter period. The extreme cough and debilitating symptoms often leave patients exhausted and even hospitalised. Doctors often treat the infectious whooping cough disease with antibiotics, but Kyle, who had the illness this year, felt unsupported by medical professionals.
I tried to get in touch with the doctors about it. They didn't much care for the situation. They kind of just prescribed me to do the usuals, like drink the cough syrup, take the antibiotics that they would usually give out for other colds and things like that. But it's not the same as another cold. I wouldn't say it feels like all the worst symptoms of a cold constantly all the time.
Vaccination is the best protection against whooping cough. Public Health Scotland have also said that vaccines are important to reduce transmission of diseases throughout society. Gail, an intensive care nurse, has recently treated preventable diseases such as TB.
They had to be nursed in isolation and PPE had to be worn when attending to their needs. Public Health had also to be notified. Also, every year I look after patients who have flu. There are flu vaccines that are available every year.
I asked Kyle if he thinks vaccinations are important.
The importance of them, I think, has been more highlighted through COVID-19 and all that. Even though people have become sceptical now. Like one of my mates' dads, he stopped taking his flu vaccine, and it was a year or so after he stopped taking it, he started having constant flus all the time. He was never not sick, which I think it speaks to if you're taking something and then all the scepticism that's come out about the COVID vaccines and all that. People have been very sceptical what's in them, but it's the proof's there.
Vaccine efficacy in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic is on other people's minds too.
I just think I've got 3. I actually think one of them was actually so I could go on holiday as well. I think I've had COVID a few times now. Not really protected. It's not stopped me from getting it, so I'm just gonna if I need it, I'll get it. But I'm not that bothered about doing it for more protection.
Joining us now in the studio, UWS reporter Carla Basu. Welcome, Carla. So what is the public's opinion of COVID vaccines nowadays?
Well, Amanda, there is a very varied attitude towards vaccines in general nowadays since the COVID-19 pandemic. This is possibly due to the mistrust in the government, and this has in some ways made many members of the public hesitant to receive other vaccines.
And within the UK, is there a significant drop in people receiving vaccinations?
Well, in 2022, it was reported that 9 out of 10 people have received 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine and around 7 out of 10 have received 3 doses of the same vaccine. However, in 2023, it was reported that around 80% of the public who could have possibly received their COVID booster haven't actually received it.
And have there been any reports of side effects since the rollout of these vaccines?
Well, most of the side effects of the COVID vaccinations reported by NHS are said to be mild and should not last longer than a week, although the number of whooping cough cases have begun to rise in the UK over the past year, with people beginning to link their concerns to the COVID vaccine.
And if there are people experiencing whooping cough, who should they contact for help?
Well, especially for babies under the age of 6 months, a whooping cough can be dangerous. Yet for older children and adults, the symptoms are less severe. If your young child is suffering from this type of cough, immediately call 999. Or if you have an older child or yourself, you are an adult, contact your GP for an appointment or call NHS on 111.
Thank you, Carla. Now with a focus on hospitality. As venues continue to close in record levels across the UK, musicians and venue owners alike are concerned about the future for up-and-coming artists. Our reporter Johnny Little has more.
The 1975 represent a legacy of British bands produced by touring the grassroots scene and then the world. But with the impact of venue closures, there is concern for the next generation of musicians. Ben Troy, a member of the Glasgow band Cloaks, echoes these concerns.
I mean, it's definitely not good right now. There's not a lot of money in it. I mean, it's quite a pessimistic outlook, but I think this could be it for like bands. Not that there's never going to be big bands, but that Coldplay are probably the last ever like mega star band. But when you're playing 2,000 to 8,000 capacity venues, something round about that, you're almost operating at a loss.
Although 125 grassroots music venues closed in the last year, Glasgow-based venue Strip Joint has managed to maintain success through diversification. By forming strong relationships with local bands and by selling records within the venue, Rory Hughes, the manager of the establishment, has kept the venue going strong.
Well, we keep a kind of good relationship with local bands and local artists. Obviously, having the record store in here helps massively. So if they are looking to promote anything, we can get signed copies of the album in. Two different things for two different animals that combine to be one great beast, I think is the best way to put it. Very, very popular venue. We're very dependent on the Hydro, which is down the road, which is obviously the biggest venue in Glasgow, or well, the biggest non-stadium venue in Glasgow. And anything that's on at the Hydro, we feed from humongously.
Though some venues are succeeding, business lecturer and long-time touring musician Hugh Stewart is not confident in the future looming for the next generation of British musicians.
Well, the thing is that the music industry, on the one hand, is making huge amounts of money. There's people at the top who are coining it in, but these are tending to be legacy musicians, as you see these days. But at the grassroots, there's less and less money. And the problem that bands are finding in Britain anyway is that the pubs are closing, venues are closing. For the people who've been in the business for 40, 50 years and they've got all those album sales to fall back on, they're doing okay. But how do people get started now? It's very, very difficult.
With us in the studio now is Jonathan Little. Welcome, Johnny. There is obviously a concern for how viable it is for artists to thrive with the closure of local venues. Just how detrimental is this to creatives on a local level?
Well, Amanda, on a local level, the local scene is where artists are able to grow commercial viability and potentially take that touring across the UK and indeed the world. And as more and more venues close, this scene where bands can build that foundation sort of disappears, and this has led to over 190,000 gigs being cancelled in the last year due to the closures.
And with the loss of gigs and venues, how does that impact the future of music, the music scene in UK and Glasgow?
The concern comes at both sort of an economic and a cultural level. The UK music scene basically brings in around £4 billion a year for the economy, but with venue closures there has been over 4,000 jobs lost and 14,000 gigs that just simply couldn't take place as a result of that. And then on a cultural level, Britain is known for producing some of the greatest bands of all time, and there's fears that due to these closures there won't be another Coldplay and there won't be another Oasis.
And what are the issues forcing venues to shut down, which of course then impacts these creatives?
Well, at this point, one grassroots venue is shutting every week in the UK, and this comes to rent increasing across the UK, the cost of living crisis preventing customers from able to buy tickets or purchase goods from venue owners, and the lasting impact of COVID on people's social decisions. And most consequentially, it's taken something that was at one point the only real way an artist could make money from their craft and has removed that from the revenue stream.
And what are the measures that artists and club and pub owners are hoping to take in order to combat these issues?
Well, economically, things are obviously tight across the board, and I think the creative industry has kind of been by the wayside in that way. But any remedy to these issues will come in the form of government support in terms of grants and bursaries for creatives and tax relief for venue owners, and that could do a lot to steer the ship in the right direction.
Thank you, Jonathan. And now for a roundup of today's other top news stories. As the summer nears, the time for relaxation and holidays beckons for many Scots. Whether it be for yourself, family or friends, the summer season is a busy one. Unsure of where to go? Last year, top destinations for Scots included Spain, Greece, Turkey and Portugal. Flight attendant Kelsey Henderson told UWS what the most popular holiday destinations were for the summer 2024.
This year, I think Mallorca will still be the top destination that families go to. It's really cheap, it's close, especially for people that don't like flying. It is only an hour from London or 2 hours from Aberdeen, so it's not too bad for people that don't like flying. I also think that Antalya in Turkey will pick up. I think a lot more people are noticing the beauty of Antalya, so I think
a lot more people will go there this year.
This week marks International Cleaning Week, launched by the Worldwide Cleaning Association, ISSA. It follows the Great British Spring Clean, which aims to take litter off the streets and provide a cleaner environment for everyone. Last year, nearly 500,000 bags were picked up and pledged to the cause. Research has also shown that cleaning can have a positive impact on mental health as well as the environment. And finally, children are in for an Easter treat if they sign up to the holiday coaching event by the John Sutton Community Club. They will benefit from coaching sessions from John Sutton himself. And that's all for today. You've been watching UWS News with Amanda Crawford. See you next time.